Any questions before we proceed? Yesterday we discussed what do you mean by chart of accounts, like whatever account groups we are going to create, that will be stored under chart of accounts, and account groups will be assigned to GL masters, right? Write down the structure, write down. We can use, write down under chart of accounts, we can use three types of chart of accounts. We can use three types of chart of accounts. One is operational chart of accounts. Next one, group chart of accounts. Next one, group chart, country specific chart of account. Country specific chart of accounts. Country specific chart of accounts, operational chart of accounts, group chart of accounts. Okay. In this, operational chart of account is a mandatory. We need to create a required one. It's a mandatory one, or you can make it as a mandatory. Compulsory, we need to create it. And group chart of accounts are optional. We may create or we may not create. Country specific also optional. We may create or we may not create as per the requirement. So write down. Chart of accounts are of three types, or we can use three types of chart of accounts. One is operational chart of accounts, group chart of accounts, and country specific chart of accounts. Out of three, which one is a mandatory? Operational chart of accounts is a mandatory one. Group chart of accounts is an optional. Country specific is also an optional. Okay. So every company code, it's a mandatory. Okay. Okay. In this, we have two methods actually. We have two methods actually. Two methodologies. One is N methodology. Okay. 1:n methodology. What do you mean by 1:n methodology? In the sense, one chart of accounts can be used for number of company codes. What do you mean by 1:n methodology? One means nothing but one chart of account can be used for n number of companies and any number of company codes, right? Then that is considered as an 1:n methodology. For example, if I am creating BOCA, chart of account as BOCA. Okay, so this BOCA can be used for, what are our company code? BI01, BI02, and BU01. So this is one method. This is called 1:n methodology. One chart of accounts, multiple company codes. This methodology. You can write this. So second method is 1:1 methodology. Okay. So here you can write this. Next one we have, second method is 1:1 methodology. One controlling area, sorry, one chart of accounts for one company code only. 1:1 methodology. Okay, for example, we are going to create BOCN, Birla Operational Chart of Accounts for 1, Birla Operational Chart of Accounts 2, BOC1, Birla Operational Chart of Account 1, Birla Operational Chart of Account 2, next one, BUC1 or Birla Operational Chart of Accounts 3. So we will create 3 different types of chart of accounts. Okay, so here, so what is my company code? So we are creating each company code BI01, one operational chart of accounts, BI02, one operational chart of accounts, and for BU01, one operational chart of accounts. So here we are using common chart of account for all the company codes. But here we are using different chart of accounts for each company code. So for example, so Birla Operational Chart of Accounts 2, Birla Operational Chart of Accounts 3, and we will create one for consolidation purpose. We are going to create group chart of accounts. Group chart of accounts, for example, Birla Group Chart of Accounts. Birla Group Chart of means for consolidation purpose. This is consolidation purpose we are going to create, right? So here, just write it down as it is. And we are going to connect credit control areas. BICA and US credit control area, BUCA. Just write it down the structure. Once you are done, let me know, please. Once you are done, let me know. So write down these two. It's very, very important to understand here. Let me know once you are done. Please speak up.
Okay. Done, sir.
Hope everyone is done. Write down a note below to that. Write down a note below to that. NOTE note. Write down a note below to that. Operational chart of accounts. Operational chart of account and country specific chart of accounts. Operational chart of account and country specific chart of account will be assigned to company code. Will be assigned to company code. Whereas group chart of accounts will be assigned to company code or company codes. See here, these are the company codes, and right, these are the company codes. A group chart of account, this is group chart of accounts. This is assigned to operational chart of accounts. When it comes to operational chart of account, that will be directly assigned to company code. Okay, full stop and continue. Okay, group chart of account will be assigned to operational chart of account. Full stop and continue. Okay, so here this operational chart of account is linked to directly to company code. When it comes to group chart of account, first assigned to operational chart of account and operational write down. Majority companies will go you can say more than 99%. Majority companies will go their chart of account in 1:n methodology. In 1:n methodology. Okay. 1:n methodology. 1:n methodology. So write down. When companies follows their chart of accounts in 1:n methodology, then cross company code costing is possible. Cross company code costing is possible, which means intercompany transactions are possible. Intercompany transactions are possible when intercompany transactions are possible when company follows their chart of accounts in 1:n methodology. Their chart of accounts in 1:n methodology. Full stop. If company follows 1:1 methodology, 1:1 methodology of chart of accounts then cross company code costing is not possible. Cross company code costing is not possible, which means intercompany transactions are not possible. Intercompany transactions are not possible if the company follows its chart of accounts, if company follows 1:1 methodology as each company code using separate operational chart of accounts. Go through once. Any questions, let me know. Go through once. See here, what does it mean here? When see, for example, you are working for an organization and you are doing intercompany postings, then what does it mean? So we don't know what is the structure they followed, right? What does it mean? If you are doing intercompany transactions, when it is possible, cross company code costing is nothing but one company code cost can be transferred to another company code. So when it is possible, if you are doing intercompany transaction, means what does it mean? So whatever member company codes are there in the company, whatever member company codes are there in the company, then they are following only one operational chart of account. Only one operational chart of accounts. Then only the intercompany transactions are possible. For example, in your organization, if you are not using intercompany transactions, then what does it mean? They are not following 1:n methodology. 1:n methodology. They are following 1:1 methodology. What does it mean? One company code is using its own operational chart of accounts and another company code is using another operational chart of accounts. Each company code using its own operational chart of accounts. Whenever independent chart of accounts are used by each company code, then intercompany transactions are not possible. Clear? If any company you are working and there are each company code, you can say to your client, whenever you visit your client, he'll says that I want to use, I have a 3 company codes, like same thing, whatever you call BI01, BI02, BU01. He says that I want to use only one operational chart of accounts for each company code, separate chart of accounts. Then before he asks that, you need to tell them that, okay, if it is independent operational chart of accounts, if we want to use, then we need to explain them that if we are using a separate chart of accounts for each company code, then cross company code costing is not possible. We can't do, because each company code using different chart of account, means different account groups. Clear? Same time, you need to tell them intercompany transactions are not possible if we are following 1:1 methodology. And we need to give an advice, if you want to do cross company code costing or intercompany transaction, then you need to follow only one chart of operational chart of accounts to number of company codes. Is this clear? Any questions? Any questions? Yes, no.
No, clear.
Is this clear? So here group chart of account is when it is possible. This is called group chart of accounts. Okay, when group chart of accounts is possible, when each company code is using different operational chart of accounts. So each group chart of accounts will be linked to operational chart of account. So here for we are using 1:n methodology, then here group chart of account it's not required. Why? Because we are using one common chart of accounts. But here we are using different operational chart of accounts. To combine all, we need a group chart of accounts. Clear? So group chart of account is when we require, when we have a number of operational chart of accounts, then to consolidate each operational chart of accounts, we need a group chart of accounts. So you can have combination like operational chart of accounts and country specific chart of accounts, or group chart of accounts and country specific chart of accounts. Country specific chart of accounts, why required? Why we required? In the sense, country specific, we required to fulfill the legal requirement of that particular country, because our companies are in India and as well as US. So we will create few chart of accounts like tax related, right? Next one, legal requirement related GL accounts. So at that particular point of time, we will create country specific chart of accounts. Clear? For both, we can use it for in 1:n methodology and 1:1 methodology. So any questions on this? So the most important, what is the difference between 1:n and 1:1? You need to understand 1:n, it is possible to use for cross-company code costing and intercompany transactions. When we are following 1:1 methodology, then cross-company code costing is not possible. Intercompany transactions are not possible in this. So write down first one, operational chart of accounts. Write down first one, operational chart of accounts. Write down operational chart of accounts. Operational chart of accounts are mandatory chart of accounts, mandatory chart of accounts for every company code, every company code, every company code. Full stop and continue. Based on this, based on this, based on this, based on this, we can record, based on this, we can record all transactions, we can record all transactions and generate reports, generate reports for internal and external, for internal and external usage, for internal and external usage, for internal and external usage. Okay, next one, write down group chart of accounts. Second one, group chart of accounts. Group chart of accounts. Next one, group chart of accounts. It's an optional chart of accounts in SAP. It's an optional chart of accounts in SAP. It's an optional chart of accounts in SAP. Based on this, we can generate, based on this, we can generate we can generate all consolidation reports. We can generate all consolidation reports, where we are using different operational chart of accounts. Different operational chart of accounts. Where we are using different operational chart of accounts. Where we are using different operational chart of accounts. Okay. This is about group chart of accounts. Next one, country specific chart of accounts. Country specific chart of accounts. Third one, country specific chart of accounts. Just country specific chart of accounts also. Country specific chart of account also. An optional chart of accounts in SAP. An optional chart of accounts in SAP. Country specific chart of accounts is also an optional chart of accounts in SAP. Based on this, we can generate, based on this, we can generate statutory and tax reports. We can generate statutory and tax reports country wise. Only for this particular purpose, we use chart of account, country specific chart of accounts. Any questions on these three? Any questions on these three? Operational chart of accounts is a mandatory chart of accounts. So we follow 1:n methodology. Correct? And what is a group chart? So why we use this? To generate our financial reports for internal and external purpose, we use operational chart of account. Why we use a group chart of accounts? Group chart of account is an optional chart of account. So for consolidated purpose, consolidated operational chart of account reports, we can generate in group chart of accounts, right? So this is an option. Country specific is also an optional. And why we use country specific? To generate statutory reports and tax reports. Only for this particular purpose, we can use country specific chart of accounts. So any questions? So the most important thing we need to understand the difference between 1:1, 1:n. 1:n for cross-company code costing and intercompany transactions. And here it is not possible. So any questions on this? Any questions? Yeah. Yes, no.
No.
I didn't get you.
No.
Right? Because if you are not understood, I'm ready to reiterate for any number of times, because this is the most important topic. We need to understand what is the difference between operational chart of accounts, group chart of accounts, and country specific chart of accounts. That's the reason I'm stressing out more. If you don't have any questions, then we can go forward. Is that okay? Can we? I need answers from everyone, please, at least for few sessions.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Clear, right? Thank you. At least for few sessions, please let me know whether you are okay with this or not, or else I'll repeat any number of times, not an issue. Okay, next one. So we are done. This is about your chart of accounts. Next one. What is the next one? We have next account groups. So we are done with, you remember, right? First chart of accounts. Under that, we have account groups, and after that, GL master, GL accounts. We have already discussed what is account groups, right? But still, write down account group. Account groups. Write down below to that, write down account groups. Account groups. Account groups are classification in GL master or GL masters. Account groups are classification in GL masters. Classification in GL masters. Classification in GL masters. Right on. Based on this, based on this, based on this, we can define number ranges. Based on this, we can define number ranges. We can define number ranges and screen templates and screen templates at the time of transaction postings or at the time of transaction data postings. At the time of transaction data okay, at the time of transaction data postings. Okay, next. What is the first sentence? Classification of GL masters, right? What do you mean by classification of GL masters? Yesterday we saw, right? For example, cash comes under which account group? Yeah, cash comes under which account group? We have defined yesterday, right? Account groups. Comes under which account group?
Assets. Assets.
Current assets, right?
Current.
Stock comes under
Assets.
current assets. Under asset, it is a current asset. Buildings,
Fixed.
fixed asset. Next one, bills payable. Bills,
Current liabilities.
current liabilities. Under liabilities, we have one more subheading, right? Group that is called current liabilities.
Yes.
Okay. So this we need to remember this. Machinery.
Fixed assets.
Yeah. Okay. So just go through this documentation. I'll share today the documentation part. Okay. So the classification. Okay. So here account groups, as we discussed yesterday, the same thing I'm going to repeat. Basically, write down basically the GL accounts will be classified into two areas. One is balance sheet items. Okay. Next one, under balance sheet, what are the items we have? Liabilities. assets. Assets. When it comes to P&L account, P&L account, P&L account. Okay, under P&L account, we have under PL account, we have expenses, incomes. Right? So balance sheet, we have liabilities and assets. When it comes to P&L account, we have expenses and incomes. Clear? So here we know what are the different under liabilities. Again, we have a number of subgroups, and assets also we have number of subgroups. Okay. Right? In GL master, we are going to, we can define GL accounts. We need to give number ranges. Okay. Write down GL masters. We need to define number ranges. So maximum, you remember, right? For example, cash account, you will have some number in SAP. If somebody is working on this one, this one, bank account, we will have one number, right? So in SAP, each account, each GL account will have defined with some specific number. And that number will have maximum of 10 digits, not more than that. Maximum how many? 10 digits. GL master, maximum of 10 digits. Clear? Less than 10 digits, we can have anything. Fine. Most in live environment, in real time, most of the companies will go with 7 or 8 digits GL masters. 7 or not 10, they will go with 7 or 8 digits GL masters. You can check. Mostly, I said, not all, mostly, majority will go with 7 or 8 digits GL master numbers, GL number range. Clear? But in here, our practice, we are going to use in our sessions, we are going to use 6-digit number range, and it should be numeric only. 6-digit, I said, now 8 digits in the sense, it should be numeric only. The number, it should be numeric. 6-digit number range of GL masters. So we are going to use in our complete course, we are going to use GL master number range is 6 digits. So we can use anything, but I don't want to use, I want to go. But in real time environment, 99% companies will use their GL master number, okay, either 7 or 8 digits. But maximum, how much we can define? What is it? GL master maximum range digit?
10 digits.
10. Don't forget this. Not more than 10. Okay. Just write it down. Just write it down. Just use it. Okay. For example, for liabilities, I am allocating numbers 6 digit, right? 1 lakh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2, So all the liabilities, whatever liabilities, I'm going to use. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 119,000. One more. Clear? I'm going to use. Okay, and assets. Two lakhs. 2,99,000. So why I'm giving like this? So we can remember. So 1 series for liabilities, 2 series for assets. So this is not SAP standard. So companies may give anything, but majority they will take the same, like 1 series for liabilities, 2 series for assets, and expenses 3 series, sorry, incomes 3 series or expenses 3 series, right? Anything. Okay. So I'll take here as an income. Incomes 3 digits, 3 series. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'll take this as an expenses. Four series. Means all the expenses I'm going to define in this particular range only. Just write it down. Okay, so this could be anything. Just write it down. So for I can remember liabilities 1 series, nothing but 1 lakh to 1,99,000. So all the liabilities account, whatever GL accounts are going to come, I'm going to define, I'm going to give in this particular range only. Clear? For assets, whatever assets are going to come, cash in hand, cash at bank, right? Debtors or whatever it is. So we are going to prepaid expenses and all those stuff we are going to assign in this particular number range. 2 series, incomes 3 series, expenses 4 series. Any questions?
No, sir.
All right. In real time also you can check in your company, whatever liability posting you are doing, whatever asset posting you are doing, but it's not mandatory that they need to follow anything. Liability, they can go with 4 series or any other series. It's not mandatory. Clear? Okay. Let's do the write down. We will do the configuration now. Write down. It's a 4-step configuration. It's a 4-step configuration. So first we need to define chart of accounts. Write down. First one, write down chart of accounts. Define chart of accounts. SPRO, 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 path, write down the path. SPRO, SAP reference IMG, financial accounting new, financial accounting new, general ledger accounting new, financial accounting new, general ledger accounting new, master data, GL accounts, preparations, edit chart of accounts list, edit chart of accounts list, transaction code OB13, OB13. Path, I'm repeating for everyone once again. Okay, write down the path once again. So I'm going with path SPRO, SAP reference IMG. So earlier we are going to go with enterprise structure. Now we are going to financial accounting new, financial accounting new. So these are the modules actually. Okay. General ledger accounting new, general ledger accounting new, general ledger accounting new. Next one, master data, master data. Next one, GL accounts, GL accounts. Next, preparations, preparations. So here you can select edit chart of accounts list. So additionally, so transaction code OB13, OB1313. You can check here. OB13. So we are going to create. Okay. So click on active IMG activity button. Okay. Press new entries. Press new entries. So what is the chart of accounts we want to give here? What is our chart of accounts name we want to give? What is the, we are going to follow 1:n methodology. So what is the chart of accounts name?
BOC.
Yeah.
BOCA. It's nothing but Birla operational chart of account. So write it down, BOCA. Write it down, chart of accounts, BOCA. Right? So here let me know, Birla operational chart of accounts. Okay. Birla operational chart of. Okay. So here, maintain language, English. So here, how much we want to, how much length, GL account length we want to use for our practice?
6.
6. What is the maximum we can give?
6. Maximum we can do 10.
10.
Maximum?
10, 10.
10 digits. So here I'm going to use 6 digits. 6 digits. Okay. So I'll explain this. Are we using group chart of accounts? Are we using group chart of accounts? If we are using 1:1 methodology, then we need to use group chart of accounts. But which methodology we are going to use?
1:n.
1:1. So is it required to create group chart of accounts?
No.
No. So if we are going to 1:1, because I want to show you intercompany transactions also, intercompany configuration also. So that's the reason I would like to show you. I'm not sure taking group chart of accounts. Any questions on this? So if it is 1:1 methodology, then we need to clear group chart of accounts. So here we are going to use 1:n methodology. So I'll explain this separate class for group chart of accounts. So don't think that I'm going to ignore that. No, we are going to do the group chart of accounts also separate session. Is this clear? Any questions still here? Yes, no.
It's clear, sir.
It's clear, right, everyone? So hope you understood when this particular thing we are going to select, when we are going to use 1:1 methodology. If we are using 1:1n methodology, then group chart of accounts is not required. So this is very important. Controlling integration. So everyone just write it down. I'll explain this. Just write it down this. Just write it down this. Once you are done, let me know. We have given BOCA. So in here in your practice, you can give whatever company you have. First letter that. O stands for operational, C stands for chart, A stands for accounts. Birla operational chart of accounts, maintain language English. So means every report you will generate in English. All the languages it will be displayed. Select. Any questions? Okay. So here, click on save button. Click on save button. I'll explain. So this is the same group, right? We need to save it. Save it. Data was saved. So here there are two options: controlling integration, CO module. This is related to integration, right? Control integration. We have two options: automatic update and manual creation. Automatic creation of cost elements, manual creation of cost elements. Clear? Two options. We know that we have a finance module. Let me come explain here. What are the modules we have? We know that our course itself is FICO, right? We have two modules. One is FI module, FICO. In FI module, we have income, expenditure, and this one. So we call it as a GL accounts. GL accounts. Okay, GL accounts. But here in a CO module, we won't call it as a GL accounts. We are going to call it as an elements. Okay, over there also we will create, but whatever accounts we are going to create, we won't call in CO module as a GL accounts. We are going to call it as a elements, cost elements. Clear? So we are not going to call it as a GL accounts, or I'll make this as a capital. Elements. Remember this. So if someone is talking cost elements, then it is nothing but they are talking about costing module, controlling module. If someone is calling it as an expense, clear, then that is considered as an expense account, is nothing but FI module. If someone is calling it as a cost element, then it is considered as a CO module. If somebody is calling it as an income accounts, then it is nothing but FI module. If someone is calling it as an revenue elements, then it is nothing but CO module. Clear? So here we have liabilities. Here we have in FI module, we have liabilities. So in CO module, there will not be no assets and no liabilities. We are going to discuss only about cost and revenues. No assets, no liabilities. Clear? So here we call it as a liabilities accounts, GL accounts. But here we don't have the concept called liabilities and assets. So we call it as, we can call it as a no elements in CO module. Because we won't deal in CO module, we are going to deal only with the cost and revenues, no assets and liabilities. Okay, in the same way. Here we have asset accounts. So do we have in cost element CO? Do we have assets in CO? Yes, no. In cost and management accounting, do we have assets? Am I audible? It's humble request, kindly respond.
No, sir.
So no elements. Next one. What is the other one we have? Income accounts. We call it as an revenue elements. Revenue elements. Okay, and here we call it as an expense accounts. what we call here cost elements. Understood why we don't have a no elements? Because cost and management account won't deal with assets and liabilities. Hope you have done in your graduation level. Any questions in this?
No, sir.
Okay. So here we have selected, okay, what we said here, if we are selecting manual creation of cost elements means there are two types, there are two consultants. One is FI consultant and CO consultant, right? So if I'm saying manual creation of cost elements, right? What does it mean? FI consultant, finance consultant, okay. Manual creation of cost elements means nothing but the finance consultant will prepare revenue, income and expenditure GL accounts separately, and the controlling consultant, CO consultant will prepare the revenue and cost accounts elements separately in CO module. Clear? Manual creation of cost elements in the sense what? In FI module, we will create GL account, expense account and income accounts separately. When it comes to CO module, the CO consultant, separate CO consultant will be there. Earlier there was, right? What they used to do, they will create separately in CO module the cost element and as well as a revenue element. Means when we select manual creation in the sense, the data will not flow. The cost element data and revenue element data, the income element, the income data and expenditure data will not flow from FI to CO when we select this option. When we select manual creation of cost elements, then whatever data is there in FI module, what kind of data? Expense and income data will not flow from FI module to CO module. Okay. But if we select automatic creation of cost element, then whatever income and revenues, whatever income and expenditure GL accounts we are going to create, that will be automatically flow from FI module to CO module. And over there, it's going to create it as an income accounts, as a revenue accounts, and expenditure accounts as a cost accounts. And the data will flow automatically from FI module to CO module, because we have selected in integration, we have selected automatic creation of cost elements. So CO consultant, it's not required to create again. So any questions here? Any questions?
No, sir.
Is this clear? So, but meanwhile, in our practice purpose, what we do is we are going to select initially manual creation of cost elements. Manual means we will do creation of cost elements, GL accounts in FI module and as well as cost elements in CO module. Both we will see separately. And after that, we will see how the data will flow from FI to CO module automatically. Clear? Any other questions? Any other questions from anyone? Shivani, Spandana, Prasad.
No.
It's clear, right? Because if you won't understand this, learning SAP is absolutely waste if you don't understand this concept. Is that okay? Just save it.
Okay.
Just to save it. Okay. Click on save button. That's okay. So we have created one chart of accounts. Next tomorrow we will create account groups. Account groups tomorrow session. Define chart of accounts. So assign company code to chart of accounts. So we are following 1:n methodology. So BOCA, chart of accounts, we need to assign to our company. I'll do this. Write down. Next step. Assign company code to chart of accounts. Assign company code to chart of accounts. So path, same as above till preparations. Path, same as above till preparations. From there, select. From there, select. Assign company code to chart of accounts. Assign company code to chart of accounts. Transaction code OB62. OB62. Transaction code OB62. So once again, I'm saving this. So hope everyone understood this chart of accounts part.
Yes.
So go back. So here, under that, you can see assign company code to chart of accounts. So click on IMG activity button. IMG activity button. IMG activity button. Click on position button. Click on position button. Give company code. Give company code. What is my company code? BI01. Correct? So give BI01. So here all the three company codes got displayed. So here chart of accounts. Chart of accounts. So select your chart of accounts. If you don't remember, press F4. Press F4. So here you can see BOCA, which we created, Birla Operational Chart of Accounts. So did we created any country specific chart of accounts? Did we create it? Not required as of now. So we will see that later. So next year also BI02. So for this also we are going to create BOCA, Birla Operational Chart of Accounts, BOCA. So one chart of accounts, we are integrating to number of company codes, 3 company codes. So 1:n methodology. With this assignment, we can do intercompany transactions or cross company code costing. So just write it down. Is this clear? Click on save button. Click on save button. That's it. Okay. So with this, we have done 2 steps. So another 2 steps we need to do. In tomorrow's session, we will do those 2 steps. Account groups and retained earnings account. Clear? Any questions till here? Yes, no. One humble request, kindly respond because it's a one question, as you know that, because there would be a lot of fluctuations in network. I'm not sure whether you are able to hear me or not. That's the reason every time if it is a normal offline session, then definitely I won't ask you these many times that whether you're following it or not.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Just again, I'm telling you, just practice along with me itself so that it would be easy for you. Again, I'm telling you, before we complete the course, you need to at least create 10 different companies. Means 10 times you need to practice parallelly along with me. I'm creating one company. You need to create 10 companies. Under that, you can create any number of company codes. So meanwhile, parallelly, you need to complete at least 10 times. Then only you will remember the path and the transaction codes and the procedure. As I said earlier also, if we are not practicing it, then we are not going to get any sort of benefit with this. That's it.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you all. See you in tomorrow's session.
Thank you.
Thank